Hi, and welcome to this full demo of inFlow Inventory. Here's everything we're going to cover in this demo. That's a lot of topics, so we've split this video into chapters for you. Just click along the timeline to jump to the section you'd like to learn about most. We'll start off with managing products. This is best done in our web app. Let's head to our product list and have a look at this one. You can see right here that it's a stocked product, which means you want to track the quantity. If you need to track serial numbers for each purchase or sale, use a serialized product. Or if you buy things that don't need to be counted or that don't take up physical space, use a non-stocked or service product. Next up is a stock keeping unit or SKU field, which is important for integrating with any e-commerce sites. Categories are useful for organizing products in lists and reports. If you'd like to scan your products to pick or receive them, you'll need to fill out the barcode field. If you don't have any barcodes, don't worry. inFlow can generate those for you too. Then there's the description field, which can show up on your printed or emailed orders. On the top right, you'll find the product image. You can upload product images from your computer or take pictures in inFlow Mobile to add more. Then there's pricing and cost. You can set multiple pricing schemes, like one for retail and another for wholesale. Choose fixed prices to set exact amounts, or use a fixed markup so your prices adjust as your costs change. Your costs are updated based on your purchase orders. inFlow uses a moving average formula by default, but you can use other options as well. Over here are the locations where your stock is held. In general, each location can represent a building, and the sublocations represent different places within the building. Next up are reorder settings, which play a big part in preventing stockouts. For each location, you can choose where the product is usually stored, how you tend to reorder it, and define what low stock actually means to you, whether that's 10 pieces or 100 pieces. When you've filled out your reorder settings, inFlow can send you a low stock notification via email. Last but not least, you can also store unit measurements and any custom information that's specific to your products. If you find some stock that isn't in the system, you can do a stock adjustment. You can specify a default location so that you don't have to pick one each time. After that, you can just tap to select products or scan them onto an adjustment. Here's what it's like to quickly add a few of one product. You can use this handy card to specify your exact quantity. When everything's selected, you just tap Done and then finalize the adjustment. Even add remarks like this to give some context. And that covers stock adjustments in inFlow. If you need to send stock from one location to another, you can use the web app. Here's how you start a transfer. Pick a From and then a To location. And you can use the product picker to add as many products as you'd like in just a few clicks. But when you save the transfer, you have separate options to send and then receive it. And inFlow shows you exactly when you made the transfer, sent it, and when it was received. The web app also shows a complete list of all your transfers on the left side. And that covers stock transfers in the web app. When you need to do an inventory audit or cycle count, just use Count Sheets in the Windows app. You can add all of the products by name or location, which will fill out the list for you. Once you've saved the list, you can start your count. inFlow will warn you to stop any inventory movements during a count. This will help to keep your count as accurate as possible. When you physically counted stock, you can enter the counted quantity into the final column like this. In this case, the system thinks there are 51 products, but there are actually 55 on the shelf. Alright, we'll use the magic of fast forward to get through these other products. When everything's done, you can complete the count. Any discrepancies are shown in the final column so you can easily see how accurate your stock was before the count. And that covers Count Sheets in inFlow. When it comes to sales, inFlow supports the whole sales pipeline, from the initial quote all the way to shipping. Of course, that means you need to be able to store your customer information in inFlow. Here's how your customers look in the web app. You can record contact details, addresses, and more specific preferences like which location they order from or who their sales rep is. inFlow also tracks the running balance and credit across all of their orders. And that covers customer records. When one of your customers places an order, inFlow can pre-fill their details from the record, including billing and shipping addresses. You'll see a customer sales rep here, but if they don't have one yet, you can assign one at any time. Since this customer has a location in the record, inFlow knows to take stock from the Garden City warehouse by default. All of the products on this order are grouped together here, and it's easy to add other ones with a few clicks. You can choose products from a list, or start to type a name and have inFlow fill it out. While you enter quantities, you can see the available stock right within the field. And inFlow will warn you if you add more than you have, so that you can make adjustments based on your current stock. When you fill out the order, you can email a copy to your customer straight from inFlow. And that's how you fill out a sales order. Instead of printing out a pick list, we recommend you use inFlow's mobile app to save time and paper. You can see that sales orders on mobile are a lot like the web app, but carefully adapted for a smaller screen. When you're ready to start, just select Pick Order. The pick screen shows you all of the ordered products, where they are, and how many you need to get. To start scanning, just tap the barcode button in the top right. As long as you have enough light, your phone's camera can scan barcodes quickly and accurately. And there are two more ways to pick. You can also tap a checkbox to mark a product as picked, or you can use inFlow's guided picking, which shows you larger product images so you can identify them easily. When you're done picking, you're ready to move on to shipping. Instead of checking each carrier separately, you can buy and print your shipping labels without ever leaving inFlow. When you've picked all of your products, just click on the Fulfill button in the web app. When your inFlow account is connected to EasyPost, the shipping window will pop right up. You can see the to and from addresses and decide whether a signature is required. inFlow estimates the parcel weight based on the details from your product records. And you can also select a parcel size or create a new one on the spot with just a few clicks. Next up is customs. We won't go over it in detail because it can vary so much, but rest assured you've got all of the necessary options to deal with shipment customs here. After that, you can choose your shipping rates from any carriers you've connected through EasyPost. We don't have a big budget to make this video, so we'll go with the cheapest shipping option. Before you purchase the label, you'll get to review the whole order. If everything's correct, just purchase the label. You'll see the cost. This final screen has a few handy details. You can see the cost, carrier, and tracking number. And if you've chosen to automatically send tracking info to your customers, you'll see the status of that email here. And finally, you have options to print your packing slip and the label itself. And that wraps up shipping in inFlow. Before we dig into purchasing, here's what a vendor looks like in the web app. You've got the standard contact information at the top, a running tab on the balance and credit for each vendor, the vendor's address is over here, as well as purchasing information like the payment terms, currency, and taxes. You can also record things like the lead time in days when you've worked with a vendor for long enough. Below that is an example of a custom field for billing contact, for those times when you order from one person but discuss invoicing with another. Last but not least, there's the vendor product section. The product and SKU are what you call these products. The vendor code is meant for the vendor SKU, in case it's different, and you can store the vendor price in the final column, and that covers vendors in inFlow. Assuming you've set up your reorder settings, inFlow can help you reorder ahead of time and prevent stockouts. Here's what this looks like in the web app. From the homepage, just select Reorder Stock. You might see three kinds of reorder options here: purchase orders, stock transfers, and work orders. inFlow will create one purchase order per vendor that appears in this list. So in this case, you'll be creating one PO for 2 products. If you transfer certain products from a main warehouse, you'll see that under stock transfers. This example will create a transfer for 10 pieces of this product from Charlottetown to Toronto. Finally, if you need to restock a product by assembling a kit or manufacturing it, you can use a work order. In this case, you'd create a work order to assemble 10 more pieces of this gift set. When you've checked everything over, just select Reorder, and inFlow will automatically create all of those transactions for you. Here's what it's like to set up a new purchase order in the web app. First things up, just choose a vendor. As long as your vendor records are up to date, your vendor's contact details will be filled out for you. And the ship to address over here is tied to your location over here. So if you change the location, the ship to address will change as a result. If you'd like to add a vendor order number, you can do so here. Now let's add some products. Notice that when you add a product, the quantity is shown in cases. inFlow lets you choose different units of measure depending on whether you're storing, selling, or buying a product. So you can order by the case, carton, or whatever container size you'd like. Now that you've got a product added, you can go up to email and send the purchase order to your vendor with a quick message. And that's how you create a purchase order in inFlow. When your PO comes in, you can receive the order right from your phone. Here's what the receiving list looks like. It'll only show you the POs that have products to receive. Let's have a look at this one. This screen is a lot like the sales order picking screen. Your products are displayed here, and you can see the sublocation to place them in, as well as how many units are expected on the order. To start receiving, you can use this checkbox, or tap the barcode button in the top right. Just start scanning, and a handy card will pop up along the bottom to show you your progress. We'd recommend you scan every product for accuracy, but if there are too many, you can receive all the units at once with this button here. And for instances where you receive products that you didn't order, just add them with this button. When you're done, just hit the yellow button to finish receiving. And that's how you receive stock in inFlow. If you need to manufacture products or combine multiple products into one, you can use the Windows app. Let's use a gift set as an example. When you head to the Bill of Materials tab, you can see this gift is made up of a few other products. If you want to quickly estimate your production capacity, just select how many can I build, and inFlow will calculate that on the spot. Let's just manufacture one unit for now. This will take us to the work order screen. You can see all of the finished products here, and the components that need to be picked in order to complete the assembly. This table on the right shows a more detailed view of your component structure, including the SKU or description of each product. For now, let's just save and then complete this order. This will add a finish date so you can track when the order started and when it was completed. The Pick tab shows you which components were picked and removed from inventory. And the Put Away tab shows you which finished products were added to your inventory. And that's a quick example of manufacturing in inFlow. You can use the web app to run over 40 reports that cover sales, inventory, purchasing, and more. You can click through each category on the left side to see the full list of reports on the right. Some reports can even be run a few different ways. For example, you can generate a product sales summary or view a sales by product details report. Let's have a look at the detailed report. Each report has a few default filters along the top. This one has status, invoice date, and category. You can also add more if you'd like. For example, you could just click to add order date as one of your new filters. On the leftmost column of your report, you can choose how you'd like to group your data and add or remove columns. This looks good, so let's generate the report. After a few moments, your data will show up. Now, if you'd like to sort the report using a particular column, just click on it and generate the report again. When you've got the detail you need, you can print the report or save it as a CSV spreadsheet or PDF. And that's how you customize and run reports in inFlow. You can get a running start in inFlow by importing your data from spreadsheets. inFlow offers a few different import types. Product details will fill out your product list with things like product names, prices, and product type. Oh, and by the way, product type can't be changed later, so specify your product types carefully in your spreadsheet. Use a stock levels import to tell inFlow how much of each product you have at each location. You can also import your customer and vendor lists, as well as your sales and purchases. And you can also import your reorder settings per product and per location. And if you have product images on a file server, just map those URLs to each product, and inFlow can fetch the product images for you. If you're setting inFlow up from scratch, import your purchases and sales first. If you still need to do a stock levels import, make sure to leave that import for last. Now here's a quick look at what it's like to import product details. When you go to select your spreadsheet, make sure it's a CSV file. Most spreadsheets can be saved as CSV using Excel or Google Sheets. Once you have a CSV file ready, just select it for import and then hit Next. These are the import fields in inFlow, and these are the columns in your spreadsheet. And all you have to do is map the correct spreadsheet column to the corresponding field in inFlow. When you've mapped everything you need, click Next to start the import. You'll get an email when the import finishes, but if it's a relatively small import with just a few lines, you might see the results very quickly. And that's importing in inFlow. Exports are the fastest way to get your information out of inFlow and into spreadsheets. In the web app, just head to Export Data, and you'll see all of the data types that inFlow can export. The data types are all pretty self-explanatory, and you'll see extra information as you click on each one. You can even choose date ranges when exporting sales or purchase orders. When you've chosen a data type, just hit Export, and you can save the file to your computer. Here's what that raw data looks like in Excel. The information from your sales orders is here and ready to share with coworkers or to plug into other systems you might be using. And that covers exports in inFlow. inFlow can connect to two accounting platforms, QuickBooks Online and Xero. These integrations allow you to push purchases, sales, inventory assets, and cost of goods sold. Now, here's what it's like to set up QuickBooks Online. If you're already logged into your QuickBooks account, all you'll need to do is connect it to inFlow with a few clicks. Now that we're back in inFlow, the first choice is whether to push sales orders to QuickBooks, and which account to map those sales to. Next, you can decide on whether to push payments, and which payment account inFlow should update. However, if your customers pay you through QuickBooks, you'll want to keep this setting off to avoid duplicate entries. Below that, you can map the tax rates in inFlow to the ones you've set up in QuickBooks. The next screen is similar, but for purchases. You can choose to push purchase orders and inventory value, and the same goes for payments. And once again, you'll want to keep the setting off if you pay your vendors through QuickBooks. Since you've seen taxes on the previous page, we'll use the magic of editing to fill them in and complete setup. And that's it. Based on those settings, inFlow is now set to update your finances in QuickBooks. Here are some examples of what that looks like. You can push inventory value from inFlow to QuickBooks. Let's do that manually here. Now that that's done, you can see the inventory value in inFlow matches the report in QuickBooks. Here's what a sales order is like in inFlow. And when it's marked as invoiced or paid, you'll see it in QuickBooks like this. Finally, here's what a purchase order looks like for good measure. You can see inFlow is passing all of the relevant data over to QuickBooks. And that's how inFlow's accounting integrations can save you time and help you keep the record straight automatically. If your business is in the US or Canada, your customers can pay you online through inFlow Pay. For the purposes of this demo, this account already has inFlow Pay set up for orders charged in USD. Here's an example of what the process looks like from your end. First, find a sales order you'd like to invoice, then select Email and then Invoice. Then add a little message to make it more personable. Then send it off. Now, let's view it from the point of view of your customer. When they get your email, all they need to do is click on the link to view the invoice. Once they've reviewed it, they can make the payment right then and there. They'll see a checkout form with the total and fields for their name and credit card information. Once they've filled it out, they can send the payment on its way. And that's how you can take payments through inFlow Pay. If your business does a lot of B2B sales, you'll like inFlow's Showroom, which turns your inFlow product list into a beautiful online catalog. No extra coding required. Here's what a public showroom looks like. Anyone can visit it as long as they have the link, and you can choose exactly which products to share. Visitors can't place orders through public showrooms, but they're a great way to showcase your products and share what's in stock. If you'd like to take orders online, you can invite a customer to a private showroom. Your customer will get an email with a link. They can click on it and create a quick showroom account and password in just a few seconds. Once that's done, they can browse your shop and add products to a cart, just like this. They can review their items before they check out. When they're ready, they can fill in their details and place their order right from their private showroom. And if you have inFlow Pay set up, your customers can fill in their billing details and pay for their order right there. That covers the core features of Showroom. We also offer an add-on called Showroom Pro with a few extra features. You can remove inFlow branding from your showroom and documents. You can use your own custom domain for an even more professional look. And you can set up abandoned cart messages so that you can automatically reach out to people who filled up a cart in Showroom but never placed their order. And that's inFlow Showroom, an easy way to turn your product list into a beautiful product catalog for your customers. And that concludes our full demo of inFlow Inventory. If you're wondering if inFlow is right for you, just reach out to us and we'll get you the information you need to make the right decision.